Welcome to the best damn show in the land. I'm your host, Josh Becker. Going to be a great show tonight. As always, we're presented by Buckeye Wine and Spirits, Playa Bowls, Plaza Mexican Grill, Mikey's Late Night Slice, and our newest sponsor, Buckeye Donuts, OHIO. Thanks for joining the show, guys. It's going to be a great Tuesday night with you. We've been going every other week here. It's been nice off season. News is a little slow, but lot to talk about this week. Hey, what's up, Ohio Edits? Road to 10K, 1K. What's up, man? Good to see you. Got Benny Spangs, the legend, joining us tonight as always, and producer Joe. Both of them got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Me and Ben are going to jump in on that House versus NCAA ruling, talk about some of that stuff. And me and Joe are going to talk about some fun stuff that's happening on Twitter and the college game day news. So that'll be fun. We got Mystery Buckeye tonight. If we're ready for the clues, run them down here. Mystery Buckeye. These are always fun. He is a legendary Buckeye, of course. As a senior, he won the Thorpe Award, the Jim Thorpe Award as a senior. He grew up in New Jersey, as a lot of great Buckeyes have. New Jersey boy. And he was drafted by the Saints and played for the Saints and the Eagles, the only two NFL teams he played for in his great NFL career. So, Thorpe Award as a senior, grew up in New Jersey, drafted by the Saints, and also played for the Eagles. What's going on, Ohio Edits? Do you know Matt McCoy by chance? Can't say that I do. Matt McCoy. Does he live in Columbus? Maybe I do know him, but no, the name doesn't ring a bell. Good to see you, though, Edits. Yep. Hope a lot of you guys can join us here tonight. It's going to be a great show. I've got a little bit to talk about just myself on this House versus NCAA ruling. Some stuff that I don't think some people are talking about it, but it's something that's really that I just think's messed up, man. It's that the walk-ons are kind of getting screwed here. What's up, Big Joe? The walk-ons, for the football team especially here, are really getting jobbed here. It's ridiculous because they're taking the limit off of the scholarships that the football team can provide. They used to have the scholarships capped at 85. Now I believe it's unlimited. I believe but there's a roster cap. So the roster's capped at 105. You can only have 105 players. So I guess if you wanted to, you could have 105 scholarship players. The Buckeyes have announced just recently they're going to probably have 90 scholarship players. So that leaves room for 15 guys, walk-ons, to be on the team that aren't on scholarship. But the thing is those guys are going to be preferred walk-ons, not the guys who try out and just a handful of them each year out of 50 or 60 guys that try out make it. It sucks. It sucks for those guys. There's not going to be the guy that grew up around Columbus and probably loves the Buckeyes and maybe couldn't afford out of state tuition, and just really wanted to go to Ohio State and just thought maybe I can walk on and play for the Buckeyes. There's really not going to be room for those guys anymore because these preferred walk-on guys are going to be pretty good players that the coaches are going to be, trying to entice, saying, hey, you probably could earn a scholarship here at some point. So kind of sucks for these walk-on guys. When we used to average a roster of 126 guys. So that's getting cut down to 105. That's a lot of guys. That's a lot of practice bodies. I mean, I know the coaches can't be happy about that. That's a lot of practice guys, that can take some abuse. Let's be real. Some guys that can take some hits and, just get in there, so you don't have to be beating up all your starters and your backups. So kind of sucks. I heard someone saying that there may be a chance that they approve a practice team, kind of similar to what they have in the NFL. They're trying to get it to be like 20% of the size of the team. So 20% of 105, I don't know, that's like 30 guys. Or maybe not quite that many, maybe like 24 or 5, but a practice team, practice squad that maybe that could get approved and those guys could still have access to all the training and nutrition and all the stuff that the team has, but they probably wouldn't travel. They wouldn't be playing on road games or anything. Maybe they could dress for home games, but I don't know. I just stinks because there's been a lot of legendary walk-ons, here at Ohio State. Guys like Nate Ebner, he's probably the most famous. Won a bunch of rings with the Patriots. Antonio Smith was a great walk-on who ended up actually starting at corner, I think, in the earlier 2000s. And that Heidel kid, I wrote his name down, or Hiddle. I wrote his name down here. Logan Hiddle, Zanesville kid who walked on. He was a janitor working in the horseshoe in the facilities. Had some size to him, played high school ball. They talked him into trying out for the walk-on tryout, and he made the team and had a great career with the Bucks. And now he's our director of NIL, Logan Hiddle. So yeah, I don't know. I think the walk-ons are kind of getting screwed here with the new rules, but we'll see. This is all just shaken out. Everything's just kind of settling after this House versus NCAA ruling. So me and Benny will get more into that later. First, I'm going to go ahead and send the invite out to producer Joe. We'll get him in here first and talk some Bucks. Producer Joe runs our Twitter at the Buckeyes, as I always like to say here on the show, and he does a great job with it. And I think he had a pretty good week there in the Twitterverse. What's the chat saying here? What's up, Pinky? What's up, Joe Edits? Penn State fan? It's good to see you in here. You guys, a lot of people have you guys ranked pretty high this year. Got a lot of dudes coming back. I'm just not too high on your quarterback. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on?
Nothing, man. Just talking smack to the Penn State guy there in the chat.
Nice.
You been talking some smack lately?
I love the chat. Oh, that's what I do best on the old Twitter machine.
Damn right.
It's been a busy week.
I'm still working on that meme, that idea that you sent me with Peter Griffin.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be a good one. It's basically if you want interaction from Michigan fans, just post a picture of Jack Sawyer. That's all you
They
need
can't
to do.
stand him.
They lose their mind.
They hate his face. They hate everything about him.
They like their hands. Yeah, they do hate on his looks a lot, which they must like handsome football players in Michigan. Like, what? Oh, but it's
Hysterical.
hilarious. But yeah, I had that Captain Jack one that I didn't even make that.
Yeah.
ESPN made that. I wish I made that, but people just lost their minds in the comments. It's so funny.
That picture was sweet.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I dug that back up, but it was funny. Just all the comments were the same. It was 0-4, no gold pants. Like probably 100 comments of 0-4, no good pants. Then
They love it.
They try. It took me a minute to see what they were even trying to do. It was they tried
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. I'm sorry, Joe.
Speak of the devil. See, this is my honest reaction. They try.
Oh, I love it.
They try to do Owen Foyer, like Sawyer.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Trying to be a little creative there.
But it doesn't like work that well. but I see what they're going for. But anyway, oh well. I guess when you go 7-5, you don't have much else to talk about.
No, you have nothing. You have nothing to talk about.
It's funny. We have the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the national championship. They beat Ohio State by 3 points. But I think I'll take our season.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. I remember telling them that, when we were going in the playoffs, remember when we were starting the playoff run, I was like, you know what? You guys can brag about how you beat us after we win this natty. That'll be fun for you. And then, I guess they're having a good time with it, but
I don't blame them. Like, Michigan fans were in hiding for like 20 years,
Dude,
like I didn't even know there were Michigan fans. Like they weren't around.
No, they weren't. They really weren't.
So now they're finally able to, like, I guess, show their faces in public again. So I get it. but
it's
anyway,
sucks. I mean, they won the natty, but it's all tarnished and everything. It's just sucks for them.
Right now it's pretty funny. So we'll see what happens with it, but.
Yep. Got to wait on that hearing, baby. Got to wait on that news here for what, a couple more months probably?
Yeah. We'll see. I guess we'll find out what goes down with it. So, I mean, they cheated. They were caught cheating. So, it's
pretty blatant.
Yeah. Pretty funny, honestly.
Love it.
But
John in the chat is guaranteeing at least 2 natties with Bryce.
Ooh. I guarantee Bryce transfers to LSU. But anyway.
Oh, that'll be fun when that happens.
So we'll see. But anyway, college game day. We called it like 3 weeks ago. a month
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, we announced the news, and then they finally, told us that we were correct there.
They caught up with us. They were. Well, where else were they going to go?
Exactly.
You got.
Did you say some other teams actually thought that they were being considered for this?
Well, let's see. It's Clemson versus LSU, so that's kind of a big game.
It's a good
But
game.
so Clemson fans thought they might come there, and then F Florida State fans, just because yeah, Corso went there, they thought he might come. But
Nah.
anyway,
Ohio
so
State,
no.
Texas
But
is
wait,
the, is the
it's Bama
craziest matchup
versus.
ever.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the
Rematch of
yeah,
the Cotton Bowl. Yeah, this is insane.
exactly. And the Cotton Bowl was sweet. Are you kidding me? Like it was a
Hmm.
crazy game. That Jack Sawyer scoop and score, John. You see that, John? The scoop and score.
Scoop and score your.
Buckeye legend Jack Sawyer. But anyway, so we'll see. I'm glad they're coming to Columbus though. That'll be a
Yeah.
good game. A
Yeah,
little
it'll be
nervous
excellent.
about Texas still, but we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a battle. No, I mean it's crazy. What's kind of nice though is that whoever loses is definitely not out of it. You know what I mean? It's a huge game to kick off the college football season, and then from each the winner and the loser will both go their separate ways, and probably both teams will end up in the playoffs. So
Yeah, exactly. I could definitely see a rematch in the playoffs. So
that'd be crazy. Yeah.
hopefully it goes. Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, crazy.
I hope we just
So
smash Arch, man.
yep,
Just
game day. Not a lot else to talk about. Recruiting's going well. It looks like as we talked about
yeah,
that Delaware Hayes kid is officially
yeah.
on board.
Favor a key, baby.
Oh yeah, he looks like a beast. So
From
that's
just down the
good.
road. Yeah, I'm excited to see him.
Pacer,
He may
but
be the only running back in this class that we get, so it's just pretty good for him, really.
yeah, it might be. Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But let's see what else is going on. Nothing at all. I'm watching this new show. It's
What are you
called
watching?
Game of Thrones. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of that one.
No, I just started watching it. I haven't watched them before, but it's pretty good. So believe the hype. Anyway, we can get Benny on pretty soon.
Benny, what about Benji? Where's Benji at?
Oh, he's always next to me.
There he is.
There he is.
Check this out. I hold on. Look at this. I got Boone now.
Boone. I haven't seen Booner in a while. Benji's like, who's that?
Dog
But
time on the show.
that's right. Well, that should be a segment, dog time. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, hammer time. Hopefully something happens because I mean they did cheat. I mean, you kidding me?
No, I mean, and they've lied about it. They haven't been forthcoming. They've been anything but. They've been deleting and hiding and lying.
Dirty program over there or up
Multiple
there.
violations. Yeah, it's not looking good for them. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
can't wait for a couple more months. The news will probably drop like I don't know, probably like early August. I would say a few weeks before the
Yeah, I
first
guess
game.
we'll find out. But I mean, I'm not too worried about Old Michigan. I think they'll go 7-5 again, honestly.
For
So,
sure.
but
No, they
as
got
long
a
as we
very
just
inexperienced freshman quarterback. I know Underwood. Everybody's touting him as the savior, but let's be real. That's going to be tough, man. I know we
yeah,
we have inexperienced QBs as well, but they've been in the program at least.
yeah.
And I mean, we saw Bryce in his spring game. He looked terrible. I
And
don't.
that's a lot of hype, you know. You gotta, I
Lot of
mean,
hype.
you kidding me? So we'll see what happens, but oh well, go Bucks, and
Yep.
yeah,
Go
we're getting
Bucks, baby.
closer.
Yep.
Every Saturday, we're a week closer to week one.
Yeah, I keep seeing how many weeks away are we? It's not that many. We're like
Well,
80
12?
some days or 12 weeks. Yeah.
I think it's 12. I could be wrong, but sneaking up on us. So anyway, but
I'll be here soon.
we'll get over to Benny Spangs. You guys can figure out the stuff that matters. No,
Oh,
that
that's
was
cool. No top three tonight. Didn't
but
even have time to put one together.
good talk. No top three. We'll think of one for next week
We'll
or
think of a good one for next
2 weeks
week.
for sure. Horns down. That's
Horns down, Joe.
right. Good seeing you, man.
You too, brother. I'll see you soon.
Yep. Peace.
All right, there he goes, producer Joe, crushing it on Twitter, talking all that smack to the haters as usual. Dogs outside are barking. Benji did look a little sleepy. He wasn't ready for his camera time. Big Joe, I see you say the Hayes kid can fly. Did he run track? Is he a track guy? Sorry if you guys can hear the dogs barking outside. Must have a fox or a weasel out there. My chicken dogs. They're scaring something away. Anyway, yeah, I wonder about a favorite key if he's a track guy. Oh, he is Big Joe. Nice. Probably a sprinter. That's awesome. He was locked in, man. I'm inviting the legend Benny Spangs in right now. But that kid, as soon as he got the offer from Ohio State, I was listening to the radio today, and they said that as soon as he got the offer, he was like, "Well, I'm coming to Ohio State. It's over. Like, can I shut my recruitment down?" And they actually told him, "Nah, man, let's kind of play this out. Make it seem like you're totally not locked in." I don't even know why they told him that, really, but so local kid, can't wait to see him. Might be the only running back in the class. We'll see if we get that Hyder kid. He's like the number one back. Nice state placer, possible champ. Woo! Love it. I guess he's just a real hard worker, Big Joe, too. The coaching staff loves him already. Love what they're seeing out of Favor Aki. Can't wait to see that kid. Just add another back to that stable, man. We got such a good running back room. I'm really excited for the running backs this year. CJ Donaldson looking amazing. If you guys, I've heard he's trimmed down a little bit. I mean, he was the big guy we got from West Virginia. Supposedly he's lost a few LBs, and he's just looking real fast. What's up, Benny?
81 days, baby.
How many days is it?
81.
81. Wow.
81.
Dude's going to be here before we know it, Urban.
Can't wait.
Vibrating.
Urban loves it.
Urban is pumped. Gosh, man, it seriously is going to be here before we even know it, man. I can't believe it. And that first game is just so enormous. I mean, we're used to a couple little warm-ups. This is just out the gates with fireworks. This is insane.
It's absurd, dude. I can't wait. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Gosh, doesn't it feel like forever since we won that championship?
Nuts. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like yesterday to me.
Yeah,
I'm still living. One hand, I'm still living the 2014 championship. What are we talking about?
No doubt. I was right here. Now I guess I am just reliving it right now. I was right here in this kitchen when that happened, when the Scoop and Sawyer happened. At least I was right here for the Notre Dame championship game too. But
I know, and everybody loves that play, as they should. To me, my favorite play, and you know this, is Travion Henderson housing a screen right before the half. But somehow that just gets washed under the bridge. That was the best play of the game. It may have been the best play of the season.
It's not washed. Everyone remember the screen you're talking about.
I don't hear anybody talking about the screen. I don't hear anybody. All I hear is talk about Jack Sawyer. I mean, we got Michigan fans down here trying to clown on Jack Sawyer. Nobody clowns on Travion Henderson for just housing one. This is only the first and only time they ran that play all year, and they ran it in the spring game, like I think third or fourth play of the game. So we never saw it all year last year. Yep, until that moment, and in the spring game, I believe, when it went 3 and out with Keenholz, the very next series was the first or second play called. Yeah, so hopefully we see it more often because apparently it works out pretty well.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that we'll see it at least a few times this year. Go Bucks, Simon. Yeah, I mean, I know the Scoop and Sawyer though, Ben. You're just gonna have to embrace it. I mean, come on, it's just.
Oh, I've embraced it. I like it.
I know you do. But it's just. I mean, there's gonna be a statue of Sawyer picking that ball up outside the shoe someday.
I know.
Hey, maybe they'll put a little statue of Trey running that screen pass for you.
Yeah, I mean,
was huge.
Rather get a statue of Carlos Laughlin and his accomplishments versus what Larry Johnson's done over the last 18 months.
Oh my
we go ahead and start on that already?
We're not segueing into that. That was 2 weeks ago.
We're not allowed to start on that already.
Go back 2 weeks ago if you want to hear Larry Johnson talk. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the House versus NCAA?
Yeah. Yeah,
ruling.
thank you, Judge Claudia.
Yeah, pretty nuts. I mean, do you think so? What's
Dude.
the cap set at 20.5 million, right?
20.5 million. Yes, you can distribute that how you want. So the schools pay the athletes directly. So NIL, everything
Direct
goes through
deposit.
that. Yeah, they created this new. Let me make sure I get this right because this was hilarious. Which also, I wonder if the turds up north are going to get hammered as one final hurrah for the NCAA because the NCAA is dead. It's
Oh man.
dead. Yeah, Charlie Baker is he may as well just go relax on a beach. That's the president of the NCAA, in case you didn't know. That guy has nothing to do now. Nothing to do whatsoever.
Just bored.
Because, dude, put me into that job, please. Don't do a thing. But it's called the College Sports Commission, and they hired
Yes.
former MLB exec Brian Seeley as their CEO, and he's supposed to oversee everything, and enforce things. So any NIL deal that's over $600, they have to oversee and check and verify it to make sure it's a valid business. Nobody is going to. You tell me they're going to go to 130 plus colleges in D1 and look at every single athlete and check every single NIL deal? That's not happening.
Yeah. And I like where you're going here because this is my first question with this $20.5 million cap. First off, we've already heard that teams are upwards of 40 million with when you add up their whole NIL packages for everyone.
Yeah.
Now the school is directly going to be paying out 20.5, but what about all the other NIL name, image, likeness deals that guys can get from local businesses, like you're saying? I mean, how are they going to be able to regulate that?
They won't be. It's
can't.
not going to be because that's part of all of this. Is it the whole thing is wild because so many sports are just going to be dead because with the roster limitations are increasing and like you mentioned, walk-ons are gone. You can get partial scholarships now, but walk-ons are gone. How many schools are just going to say, well, it's not advantageous for us to keep the wrestling program or women's basketball program or the rowing program because you only have 20.5 million. And this hasn't affected D2 or D3 yet. It's only D1 right now. But I have a feeling down the road this is going to be wild for what happens because you get 20.5 million. As you mentioned, heard of teams last year. Even Ohio State was talked about a lot as, they bought this roster. Okay, well, so did everybody else. I mean, Oregon and Texas spent more money than we did. But you didn't hear about it. But it's fine. We spent our money wisely and won a national title for it.
Yeah, brought all our guys back.
Yeah, man,
this
is the wild, wild west. I guess before it was a wild, wild west. This is wild, wild west with somebody that has no idea what they're doing. That just got appointed to enforce, investigate every deal above $600 at every university. But good luck.
I don't get it. What's up, Arizona Buckeye? Thanks for joining us, man. I just don't understand how if it's legal for college athletes to make money off their name, image, and likeness. If any guy wants to do any little commercial shoot or literally anything, if he wants to sell his gold pants, if he wants to sell memorabilia, if he wants to do anything, they're allowed to do that. You can't put a cap on what he can earn personally. So yeah, you can say it's a cap of 20.5 million for what the team pays them, but there's still going to be all kinds of money being shelled out to all these guys from other places, other sources on campus, other places in the city. I mean, the cap is stupid. It's not limiting anything. You're not making anything an even playing field. Teams like us in big cities and with big alumni bases like Ohio State are still going to crush the little guys. So there's no it seems kind of silly. So I don't know about that whole part of the ruling, what it really achieved.
Well, the reason they did that is because before, that was why kids were suing because they didn't allow them to get what they felt their name, image, and likeness was worth. So they were having a cap put on them. So there were 3 settlements that created this $2.78 billion in a lawsuit that'll get paid over the next 10 years, which is an absurd amount of money.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
she
To
basically
former
said,
players,
here,
right? Back to like
yeah, yep,
2016.
back from
Yep.
2016 until now. Yep. So here you go, $2.78 billion, filter it out, figure it out. Here you go. And so now every school has $20.5 million they can allocate to whichever teams, whichever players, whichever roster, whichever sport that they want. And then you have other things on top of that. So Ohio State, which I think still has, I know at one point they had the most athletic programs out of any college,
Mm-hmm.
with like 37 different programs, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's still the case, but that's an absurd amount. So some schools are just going to say, hey, we're out of football. Hey, we're out of basketball because they're not going to be able to compete. So why even allocate that money there? Why not put it into something better? If you're North Texas, you just want to have the best rowing team available. So you just put $8 million into rowing. You're going to win championship after championship. Kids are going to want to go there. Ohio State, LSU, Florida State, maybe this team up north. There will be other teams that just put everything into football. It's going to be interesting to see where some of these other schools, UConn, huge basketball program, they going to put a little more towards their football program, kind of keep it up, or are they just going to go Kentucky, same thing. So these schools are going to have to make a decision on what it is they want to do.
Yeah, and we've already
It's
seen some of that happening over the years. I think most of the Big East, I don't think that they field football teams anymore. UConn they might have a football team. I'm not
yeah,
even sure
they
if they
do.
compete. They do have one,
Hmm.
FBS or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know, but a lot of those Big East schools like Marquette or Villanova, I don't think those schools have football teams. Most of them don't. Most of the
they
Big
don't.
East, I think, gave them up. Like you're
I
saying,
don't
it's
think
just
Marquette Villanova do. UConn does. I mean,
no.
I believe Dan Orlovsky came from Utah, UConn.
UConn, yeah.
Byron Jones is from UConn.
That was a
He
while
said
ago,
the
though. Honestly, I don't know if anybody in the chat knows. I think they might have nixed it. I don't know, but most of the Big East, I would say 90% of the Big East does not have a football team, and that's why.
yeah.
Damn it, it sucks. But they actually have a lot of a lot of alumni from Big East schools that have a lot of jack and do donate a lot to the colleges, and it's all going into basketball, and that's why Ohio State can't recruit a top 10 guy because they're all going to St. John's.
Yeah.
Sucks. Wherever else out there in the Big East schools.
Yeah. Or they just, get the number one guy from Ohio and then do such a crappy job at trying to keep him that he just decommits and says he wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Man, Buckeye hoops, man. Did you hear we're getting a new court? Getting a new
No, I did
floor?
not.
Gonna bring in all the recruits, Ben. I know. I'm not hating on it. It should be pretty cool. I saw them put out a cool video on it. I mean, it's they gave a little tease of what it's gonna look like. It should be a pretty cool court. I mean, it's something. They're still playing
They
in the
got to put
shot,
in.
which it's tough. The
They got to
shot, the
put in the
shot's
old
just not
arena.
it. St. John's.
Yeah.
It's what everybody wants, right? But it's just St. John's is great for the vibe and everything, but I just think the university there's not enough seating. It's old. I don't know.
It is old.
Maybe they should just put a bunch of money into St. John's. Make it great again, make it awesome. I don't know.
Make it
Somehow
great again.
make it great again, dude. The shot's amazing. You can still host tons of stuff in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
But
just
it's
start
not. It's
splitting up where you play a little bit.
not that good, man. It's not a home court advantage. It's just
It's not
it's not
loud.
done well. Hey, and speaking of making a home court advantage, how about the new changes to the shoe?
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Nice
That should be
segue. The
pretty.
shoe's getting some. They're getting some suites, like on-field suites,
Yeah,
field level.
9 on-field suites up to I think it's like 12 people per suite, and then they have 400 like wide chair back seats because we're in the Midwest, so we need a little wider seat.
Some big
And I like
bodies.
that they're actually adapting. Because I love going to old stadiums, but I also hate going to old stadiums because they were built for people that were 5'6", 112 pounds in 1948. And
Can't get your
yes, the
hips in
seat.
there, Ben.
No, good God, no. I'm just. Excuse me, sir. Can you pass me a hot dog? I'm 4 seats from the aisle, but I can go ahead and reach over to the aisle and get my hot dog myself.
Yeah, it's tight.
It's man, it's absurd. So those should be cool. So they're adding 400 of those. But the coolest part of that is to access those and the suites. You get to walk through the same tunnel that the players go through when they enter and exit the field.
It's
That
pretty
should be kind
snazzy.
of cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then they're moving the band back to the north end where I think they had it up until like '01.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that. That's pretty cool. The band's going back to the north
Yeah.
end. Very nice. Yeah, good news. And also, we're not losing any seating because of this, right? Capacity's
No.
still staying there. They're not getting rid of any seats, which is you
No.
love to hear that, because you can't get rid of you don't want to be even cutting out
No.
nosebleeds, even if you can't. So that every man's got to sit somewhere.
It's
Buckeye
true.
games anymore too are like a elitist type of deal. I mean, dude, it's pretty hard to get your hands on a ticket.
Yeah.
Unless
Yes,
you're
it
a
is.
student or you're like me and got lucky enough for the Stovers to give you tickets to the Tennessee game. Thank you, Stover family.
No, I don't know. It's not too hard. I mean, you can get some upper bowl tickets. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look at what we did back in high school. They always have different programs and things like that for younger people to get tickets, even if they're not the greatest seats, but at least get butts in seats. You know,
Yeah. We got to go to a road game at some point here, Benny. Get some
I
tickets
haven't
like
been
a
to a road
Purdue
game in a long
game,
time. I think the last road
Iowa, or
game I went
something.
to was up in Lansing. Went to Michigan State.
Did you really?
Yeah.
East Lansing. We caught a
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State game. Bucks on the road. No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. JT on the road. Very low scoring game.
That's awesome.
Brought a
Yeah, we
dub
got to
home.
take the show on the road. They won. We won, right? We had to have.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if they hadn't won, then there wouldn't still be an East Lansing to talk about.
It was
We would
back
have
in the
been
legend
destroyed.
era. Back in your day
Yes.
there, your heyday.
Yeah, yeah, a little different now, a little more mild mannered, ill tempered. Yeah, I
Oh
mean, so
man.
the new seats should be cool. The
Yep.
whole NIL thing is gonna be wild. I mean, it was wild to begin with, but now this whole allocation thing is gonna be wild. It's gonna be interesting to see. Go from 85 to 105 possible roster spots. No real walk-ons. I mean, now if you're a walk-on, you're a
Yeah.
legit walk-on like back in the day. And
Right.
I don't know, it's gonna be
Preferred.
crazy. And I heard you mention Nate Ebner. That was probably one of my favorite stories that Ohio
Mm-hmm.
State's ever put out. Like I like dudes like him and Sam Hubbard that went from playing different sports, came to Ohio State, played that sport. And Nate Ebner went on. He probably should be a special teams Hall of Famer. I think he
Could
played
be
8, 10 years with the Patriots. It was
at
just a
least.
baller on special teams with
Mm-hmm.
Matt Slater.
Yep. Beast held down a roster spot with them for years. Like you said, he was a
Mm-hmm.
monster. I mean, he was really
Yeah.
good. Great contributor. Won a bunch of rings. Yeah, I know it's going to be tough. It's those walk on stories, and not just at Ohio State, everywhere. Walk on stories are awesome. I mean, you hear about it all the time. It's just gives a shot to those guys. Late growth spurt. Thing. I mean, I don't know, man. Just sports in this country, just getting, especially football, basketball, just getting more and more competitive, but also just kind of more and more, I don't know, kind of gated a little bit, kind of like tough, like basketball, us growing up, the AAU stuff wasn't like what it is today. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. It just seems a lot harder to break through anymore unless you're from kind of a well-off family or connected. I don't know. You just have to almost have connections nowadays, and I don't know, a way to break through.
But
I
see, I
mean,
feel that almost the opposite is true. With social media, everything nowadays, you can get yourself out there. People will find you nowadays. Meanwhile, back then, even though
that's
half
true.
of the Rudy stuff wasn't true, you could still get a Rudy occasionally. But nowadays, if you have a Rudy, you gotta find that guy because he can put his stuff out there on. I mean, even when we were kids, you had JJ Huddle, and now all of a sudden you have Huddle Sports and everything where these guys can attach all of their film and everything to. If you look at some of these kids' Twitter accounts or Instagram or
Yeah.
TikToks, whatever, they have everything listed there. So I think nowadays it's easier to find those diamonds in the rough than it was before.
Yeah,
which
can be
I
if
think
they
it's
have.
something that Ohio
Yeah,
State normally does really, really well. Again, with the AJ Hawks of 3 stars, the Troy Smith of 3 star.
yeah.
I felt like they've normally done a really good job of doing that.
Very. Yeah, it's true. If I mean, there is more access to the players. Yeah, being able to watch their highlights and all that stuff. If the players can get ascend onto a team where they can actually see the field, though, I don't know. I just think from such a young age now they're ranking kids so young, and I don't know the competition. I mean, we're paying these kids so much. It's such a business anymore. I mean, I watched Jeremiah Smith. Obviously, he makes millions now. There's this account I follow, Heat Archive. They've got a store that sells all kinds of cool shoes and gear on campus. And they had a Instagram post. JJ walked in there, sold him a pair of jeans for like $10,000. Like I'm like Jeremiah Smith, just walking in there. He's like, "Yeah, I wore these for a couple months. I don't want them anymore." Um,
Holy hell!
they're like Chrome Hearts. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that brand of jeans, but they're like handmade jeans, Chrome Hearts. And I'm like, geez, like this, it's just such a different game, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
these college players they're loaded,
And
man.
it's
It's wild.
fair though. It's
It
how it
is.
should have been a long time ago. I mean, before this, you had kids, that are trying to, they can't work a job while they're on scholarship. So,
Yeah.
all you can do is just, piddly shit around campus. You're hoping that your parents are well off enough to where they can help you afford to live with like 5 other dudes in a small house.
Yeah.
And meanwhile they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars for the university by them selling jerseys. How
Right. Tons
how
of money.
many tickets do you think Terrell Pryor sold?
Oh man, yeah. Countless.
Guy
One
got nothing for that.
this we've been talking about the walk-ons and stuff. There is one other little wrinkle that I think is important as we talk about how much money all these stars are making. As all these guys become millionaires as they're 19, 20, 21 years old, when you had the walk-ons there, the guys that are just there to play football and just for the love of it, I mean, no, a lot of them are still even paying tuition, you know
Yeah.
the coaches can look at a guy, Brandon Ennis, Jeremiah Smith, and hey, look at this guy busting his ass, and he's not getting anything. Meanwhile, you're out here driving a new Lambo. I mean, you're worth it to us. But I don't know. There's something about being able to kind of direct those guys' attention to those walk-ons that are just out there doing it because they love it, and kind of showing them like, hey, man, if this guy's giving all this effort, like we need you to step it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just not
It's
going to
the
be those
opposite way
guys
as
out
well.
there. There's not going to be the regular dudes out there anymore. Everybody's going to be so paid. Just, I don't know.
But
Such a
that's why those
pro.
walk-ons are there. It's the opposite way as well. Those walk-ons see these other guys, driving these nice cars, living wherever they want, eating whatever they want. They don't have to worry about, back in the day, like, oh shit, like I'm gonna run out of ramen this week. I gotta figure out something to eat. They don't have to worry about that anymore. They can aspire to be these other guys. Now there's an opportunity to have that. Before, everybody was in the same boat. So even if you worked hard and wanted to be an all-star on the field in college, it didn't matter. You were all on the same playing field. So I like that now you get rewarded for how good you are. It should be that way. I've always been a huge proponent of that. You're worth more if you work harder. If you are this good, you deserve to be treated and, you know, shoot, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but compensated for
Yeah.
what you bring to the team. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah. And
agree.
I think that's something that other players would aspire to. I would think
Yep.
so.
But I mean, when it became, there was a time probably in the, I don't know, 70s, 80s, when the university really did just start making a ton of money off those guys' backs. It became more than just, what it was in the old days. But I mean, back then it was always just, your payment is your free tuition, and you do get meals, and you do get nutritionists and all this stuff, and weight room and all that stuff. And then if you really ball out, you can make it to that next level, and there's your payday. You know, it's definitely the landscape's changed a lot. But the fact that we're not going to have these just walk-ons that are, it's only like we touched on, it's only preferred walk-ons. You know,
Yeah.
only guys that are aspiring to move up to get that scholarship. There's no more
Yeah.
guys that are just out there like, I'm never getting a scholarship. I'm just out here to play.
No.
You know,
No.
they're gone. So it's
Okay.
changing, but the world, life goes on. I guess, right?
Yeah, but now the
Got to
cool thing
roll
is
with it.
that walk-on can actually get a scholarship. He doesn't have to walk on anymore.
Yeah,
Now he can actually be taken care of.
yeah. I mean, the walk-ons were taken care of to some degree. That not a lot of them were getting scholarships, but they were getting meal plan. They were getting other things. I believe they
Yeah,
were
now
getting
they can
taken
get
care of. So,
everything.
yeah,
Now they can get everything. And instead of, okay, so football brings in the most money. So a football walk-on can now have the same things that somebody on the rowing team had. So somebody whose sport brought in a negative value in dollars actually got treated better than this guy that was attributing to something that brings in millions of dollars.
yeah,
So
true.
it makes sense to me.
Yeah, that part makes sense for sure.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
again, that's why it's
college
going to be
sports.
interesting in the next couple of years, because you have this one guy, this new council. NCAA council is dead, so I think that's why this, whatever they do with the turds up north is going to be very interesting because it's going to be their last hurrah out of having any kind of say on anything because they're done, they're done. So that's going to be interesting, and we're going to see like which schools transition to okay now instead of having 30 plus sports we have 5 and we're going to dominate in all 5, or which
Yeah.
schools decide to say all right well we're still going to keep 27 sports and we're going to be middling in all 27.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, to seeing all right who just goes ahead and makes a dedicated decision to say we're going to kick ass here, we're going to cut all these other programs because we don't care.
Yeah, and that sucks for a lot of kids too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucks to just be
Well,
dropping programs and
it
sports like
sucks,
that.
but it's also good because now you can transfer to a school that actually cares and wants to put money into that program,
Yeah,
and
but
now
how
you
many
might
schools
actually be able
are
to make
gonna?
more. You might be able to make more instead of
Yeah,
going
but
to somewhere like here at Ohio State where you would have made a certain amount, but you could be a baller at women's tennis. But now that this other school
yeah,
is specializing in women's tennis, they're willing to pay you twice what you just made, and you're going to go there. And it's one of the things that they specialize
but
in. So you can be great at it. The whole team can be great at it, and you can be known nationally for it.
but how many teams are really gonna want to specialize in women's tennis or fencing or
Well, that's the
badminton?
thing. But that's the thing. They all can't compete at football, men's basketball. So there are going to
Yeah,
have to be schools that are going to have to realize this and pick and choose what they want to be great at.
maybe they will. I just have a hard time believing that some schools are actually gonna be like, all right, we're gonna put all our eggs in this basket of men's gymnastics. Nah, I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know. I mean, baseball, football, basketball, volleyball, even softball. Pretty, there's some big programs with that. I don't know. Some of these lesser known sports, though. I mean, there's some goofy ones. You know what I mean? The
Oh
fringe,
yeah,
crazy sports. I
yeah,
mean, like our shooting team, our shooting team, the
yeah.
Ohio
Pistol
State
team is absurd.
pistol
Yeah, they
team.
won like 9 national titles in the last
Right. We can't
12
drop
years or
that.
something.
They better not drop that. We're known as like the best. Let's keep some funding up for that. We're lucky. We're Ohio State. I'm just
I
saying.
know,
I don't know how this is going to affect all the teams around the nation. I guess we're going to
I
find
know,
out. Pretty nuts.
I know.
What's up,
It's gonna be
Aaron?
crazy, but that's what will be interesting to see. What's up, Aaron?
Aaron wants to know who our favorite player is. Ben, who's your favorite player on this year's team?
Oh, favorite player on this year's team?
Tough to
Eh,
pick. Just one
Yeah, that
guy.
is tough to pick. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously everybody's gonna go Jeremiah Smith or Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
I think it might be Luke Montgomery.
Great pick.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Luke Montgomery. I think him and Arvell Reese are just going to be absolute standouts this year. I cannot wait to see both those guys in full time roles. I'm really looking forward to that this year.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I don't know. I got the second to think about it. Yeah, maybe I'll pick an offense and defense. Defense. It's hard for me to not say Sonny Styles, the other linebacker opposite of
Yeah,
RFL. Sonny you can just tell how hard he works, and like we were hard on him a little bit early in the season, and he just kept getting better and better and better.
He did.
Became such a
He
great
really,
leader.
really came along. Really found his home at linebacker, man. I'm
Dude,
happy for that guy. He's
he
gonna make
really
himself a
did.
lot of money doing that.
Yeah, we questioned him a little bit coming from the secondary. Is he going to be big enough, strong enough? And man, he is. And his leadership that he's shown, especially in some of this offseason stuff. Yeah, Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
I just love him. And he's a Columbus kid, Pickerington kid.
Mm-hmm.
Love his brother Lorenzo as well.
What made him a
Offensively,
great linebacker? He's got feet like a safety, and then he learned how to read and react like a linebacker. It took him some time, but man, he did it, and he's quick to get to the ball. He doesn't get washed up in all the bull crap from the interior offensive line. He's very, very good. I imagine he's going to have a very good career in the NFL. Good for him. He deserves it, man. Put in the time, put in the work.
Another guy
that Buckeye first rounder rolling.
Keep it moving. And on offense, I'm going to say another O lineman, Carson Hensman, just over the fact that he kind of had to bide his time a little bit. Maybe got on a podcast, maybe said a couple things he maybe shouldn't have said, here and there. Might have lost him a spot. That was wild, right? But
whatever.
Hey, he just chilled and said, you know what? And like I've heard him interviewed about that. And he was like, you know what? I just worked even harder and knew my time would come, and it sure did. We need him to step right back in there at center last season. Hensman, baby, absolute beast.
Didn't miss a beat, man.
Killed it for us, and again, showing a lot of leadership. He's going to be a big leader on the team this year. Carson Hensman, monster.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, we got some good guys. We have a great team this year, man. We are going to be tough to beat. We got a real squad.
And I'm real. I know this is weird, but I'm real excited for the tight end room, dude.
Oh, it's like the best tight end room in the country.
Yeah, dude. Kaczmarek may as well be a third tackle out there. Then you got Max Clare that's just going to be able to run routes and be free all day long because of the guys you got out wide. It's going to be absurd, man. And you got some of the young guys that you have, the LeBlanc kid, Bennett Christian's still here. Yeah, dude, it's going to be
Jelani Thurman, who's still
Jelani Thurman is still here.
Still
God,
grinding.
Nobody will forget that fourth down. Bobbled it. Don't worry, got it. First down.
Yeah, we have a great tight end room.
I know people talk about the wide receiver room and the corner room. Tight end room at Ohio State is very underrated and not appreciated enough.
No, and I hope old Heartline can find ways to just utilize all those guys we just talked about in their own ways. Max Clare is going to be a freak, though. If we can really put the ball in his hands a lot. You can almost say he was the best tight end in the country last year for Purdue.
Very close.
Definitely. I mean, very, very close. Maybe not the best, but definitely one of the best. And yeah, we've seen what Jelani and Kaczmarek can do.
I mean, I can think of about two other Big Ten tight ends that were better than
I know
Max
the Penn
Clare
State kid.
Purdue.
Yeah, the Penn State kid is a freak. Tyler.
And the other kid whose team I will not mention, but yes.
Colton Loveland.
You said it, I didn't.
All right. Yeah, there were a couple other good ones, but Max Clare be the best tight end in the country this year.
Yes. And Georgia has a couple good tight ends, of course, because why wouldn't they? They have a good everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I see we got a dog in there, Millie Sports. Thanks for checking us out tonight.
Go Dogs. Jeez.
See you guys
not
in the playoffs.
This year. Not this year, Millie. Ain't happening.
Who's their quarterback? People are kind of down on him. Georgia's quarterback.
Is that Kate Klubnik?
That's Clemson.
No, he's Clemson, right?
Yeah. Stockton. His name's something Stockton, I think.
I think so, because Nussmeier's at LSU.
You're still in there. He's Georgia's quarterback. I don't know. Gunnar Stockton? Does that sound right?
Sure.
Like that? Anyway, he's I don't know. That's one of their positions of I don't know. They're maybe not super comfortable with their quarterback this year, or I don't know. We'll see. People are saying that about us too, but I think our boys are gonna be ready to go. Keenholz, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Hell, playing both.
Waiting. I keep waiting
for the announcement.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. So Ryan Day's smart. Keeps his cards close to the vest.
Yep.
I think it's gonna beat Julian. But again, if things go awry, week one, you can rotate him in and out. Then you have Grambling State and OU.
Ooh, Urban.
Next 2 weeks. So you'll have a chance. You'll get him some live game reps. At least it's not Devin Brown. I can say that and be super excited about that. At least we don't have to worry about Devin Brown
Poor Dev.
anymore.
I love the
33
Dev,
for a
but yeah.
quarterback is a horrible number. When you
That wasn't just
play
his
as
number.
bad as your number is an astronomical thing, and that was
I like the
astronomical.
number. I like the number.
Horrible.
I thought it would have
Of
been
course you
cool.
would. I
Well,
hated that number. I
yeah,
hated the way he played. It was just it
yeah, it
was
was.
bad all around. And that bowl game against Missouri told us all we need to know about Devin Brown.
Yeah, no,
Glad
he
that
got a shot
experiment
there
is
in that
over.
bowl game. That bowl game was still insane, though. We can talk about that. I mean, the Missouri, that was trash, man. Our O line
Yeah,
was
but
absolutely
look at who they
horrible.
had, man. I mean, they've had top 40 draft picks from there. Darius Robinson, Armand Membo,
Yeah, they were
Luther
good.
Burden.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, they've had top 40 draft picks the last 2 years from that team. Yeah, they
yeah, and
weren't
we
a
sat
slouch.
our guys. We didn't play Marv. We sat linemen. I think there were a couple other guys on the line that didn't play. I mean, it was Devin
Yeah.
was. Let's be real.
I don't think Hinsman played that game. I
No,
think
he didn't.
they sat
No,
him, which was absurd. Yeah, poor dude. And then they brought in McLaughlin, and I think, oh well, it's all worked out. Everything's been fine. We won a natty.
yep, that's right. What's up, Aaron? Thanks for the kind words there. All hail OSU. Hey, we're trying not to cuss
All
as
hell.
well. Sorry, I see that you can't listen to that. We've tried to clean up our act a little bit here on the show.
We have tried. The
Every
effort is
once in a
there.
while, one might slip out, but
Yes,
it's YouTube. You know, we're not on ESPN here.
things are
But yeah,
gonna
we try to keep it clean.
happen.
Oh boy. No, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this season. Yeah, and I think the announcement will happen. Honestly, it'll probably be what, a couple weeks before the first game, who the Ohio State quarterback will be. I bet it'll be a couple weeks before. I bet he'll wait that
I
long.
would think so. I would think at this point the guys on the team know. Hey, going into that big of a game in week one, that guy needs to be getting the majority of the reps.
Right. You
So
got to make the
I would
announcement at some
assume at
point.
this point that something like that has to be happening.
Yeah.
Again, we're 81 days away, right? That we said 81, 83
Yeah.
days away.
That's right.
So we're within 12 weeks of being game time. That guy needs to be getting reps right
Oh,
now.
yeah. Yeah, like you said, on inside the locker room, they probably already kind of have a feeling about what's
Yeah.
happening, you know. But we
It's
will see.
not just him getting the reps. The offensive lineman hearing his cadence. You know, the wide receivers catching balls from him versus balls from Keenholz. You know, how it comes in, how
Right.
it's delivered. You know,
Hmm.
there's so many things. Switching, blocking, you know, protection, slides, everything like that. There are so many things going into it when you just say, he needs the reps. But it's not just for him, it's reps for all 10 other guys out there on the
Exactly.
field to have
You're right.
familiarity so they can all run as a cohesive unit.
Right.
So
Even
it's
something
not
as
just for him.
basic as that center quarterback relationship, you know.
Correct. Now,
That's
although
huge.
Ohio State runs a bunch of stuff, out of shotgun with which drives me nuts. But even that, even a simple clap,
Yeah. Even the
it needs to be
cadence.
down.
Mhm. What's up, Eric? Yeah, we're talking about it now. JS Julian saying we think he's still the front runner. Seems like he has been this whole time. Seems like the
Yeah,
writing's been on the wall that Sayan's going to be the guy. But Keenholz has really challenged him. Like I went to the spring game. We've talked about it a lot here on the show. Keenholz did
yeah.
not start strong there, but he did finish strong at the spring game. He really did. And their stat wise, they were very similar. And I mean, yeah, Sayan had some great plays, but he also had some not great plays in the spring game. So it's close, but we think Sayan's the guy. Sayan's a little smaller, but he is sturdy.
Julian
Um,
is not a little smaller; he is a lot smaller.
he's a
But
lot.
Keenholz, man, if you go back and watch that spring game, I mean, his first 4 or 5 throws, he's behind guys, he's
Oh
late,
yeah, it
he's
wasn't
over.
good.
Dude, if you take his first 5 throws and you go look at him, you think to yourself, this is not a D1
No,
double A starting quarterback. The nerves were on him,
yeah, they
which
were.
I
Yeah,
get. I understand that. It's your real first time in the shoe
right.
getting a legit look. Like you've got, they have 40,000 people there. If you're sitting in front of 40,000 people, this is like a job interview. Imagine going in for a job interview, and it's not just you and 3 people in a room. It's you and 40,000 people and all your peers. So I get
True.
the nervousness, but
Yeah.
it was not a good start. But you're right, he did finish strong.
He did.
But
Yeah.
I thought Julian looked better, but is not a large human being.
That's what worries me is the passing lanes. Is that he kind of has to create lanes for himself to throw. Like and he's quick and he can do it, but he
Yeah.
kind of almost has to sidestep and get to a lane. And he has those cool release points. He does well with throwing from all different angles, but I don't know. It's just worrisome. We haven't had a quarterback that's 6 foot tall. I can't even name you the last time Ohio State had rolled out a starting quarterback that was only six
Oh, that's
foot.
a good question.
I mean, come on, man. Everyone's been at least 6'2", 6'3". I mean, TP, Haskins, Fields, everybody, CJ, everybody's at least
Yeah,
six
even
two.
like Steve Bellisario and Todd Beckman were taller than that.
Belisari was probably 6'1" or 2". You might have nailed it with that. He might have been one of the shorter ones. I hate to even bring this name up, but Joe Bowserman was probably only 6'1",
I think Joe
6'2".
Bowser is still kind of a tall dude.
Maybe 6'2", yeah. But yeah, this would be the shortest Ohio State quarterback in my lifetime.
Yeah. Might have been the
Seriously.
shortest. I don't know. Go back to the 60s or 70s. Maybe we're going back to Art Schleister days. Hell, Art Schleister's probably 5 inches taller than Julian
Absolutely.
is.
I think Schleister was fairly tall. Yeah, no, this guy is Julian is a smaller guy, but I will say I don't want to knock him. His lower, like his legs, he ain't got no chicken legs. Like he's got some
No.
strength.
Hey, look, we've seen Big Ten quarterbacks do it before. We saw Drew Brees at Purdue. We saw Russell up at Wisconsin.
There you
One
go.
of the greatest Ohio State games I've ever been to. Ohio State versus
NC
Wisconsin
State.
here at the Shoe. Oh
Oh
man,
yeah.
that was
Oh
a
yeah. Yeah.
great game against Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I can't really think of many other 6 foot or shorter quarterbacks that have found success. Not to say he can't. I mean, he looks the part. So I get maybe that's even a better thing. He's a guy
Yeah.
that's under 6 foot tall and looked better than Lincoln did. So he makes it work. Obviously, he was what, a
Yeah.
5 star coming out. He 5 star went to Bama. So I mean, other
Yeah.
colleges wanted him. Obviously, we wanted him. He ended up coming here. So it's not like he's 5'7".
No. No.
That would
He's not
be
that. Yeah.
no.
Nope. Austin, what's up, Austin Brown? He wants to know where we rank this Ohio State Natty team compared to all the other Natty teams of all time. Dude, it's
Of
hard to
all
put them
time,
behind too many of them. 2014 was really good, though.
really good.
Really good. Because Cardale, I mean, even coming in as a
I
third
know.
stringer, Cardale was amazing.
2015 was a
That defense
frustrating
was
year.
awesome. Yeah.
As an Ohio State fan, really thought we were just going to run it back.
hmm
I
I
don't
can't really
know.
speak on the other Natty teams besides the three in my lifetime, though. I think you got to go back to 1970 before the '02 team. So the '02
Dude, I
team was
mean,
awesome, legendary.
it,
But let's face it, they won every game by the skin of their teeth, and then they just outworked Miami. They just wanted
yeah,
it more. It was crazy.
yeah, that
Talent
University
wise,
of Miami team was the most talented team I've ever seen not win a national championship.
I think
That was
everyone would
absurd. That
agree
team
with you.
has like 10
Yeah.
NFL Hall of Famers on it.
hmm
Between like what, Andre Johnson, Sean Taylor, oh God,
Vince
Frank
Wilfork.
Gore, yeah, Kellen Winslow, Ken Dorsey.
Oh, just
Yeah, I'm
stars.
not exactly
NFL
naming studs here.
stars.
DJ Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, that team was absolutely absurd. But last 10 years, I don't know, I would have to put the Georgia team that unfortunately we lost to at the end as probably the most talented team in the last 10 years. That
Okay,
team was
nice.
absurd.
Oh, I read that a little bit incorrectly. Yeah, he's saying the last 10 natty teams of anyone that won the national championship. I
Oh,
got you. Other teams. Yeah, no, I'm with you there, Ben. Yeah, that Georgia team that won
yeah,
was uber talented.
yeah.
But I mean, Austin, I mean, you got to look. We just put 14 guys in the league. No, 17 if you count the 3 undrafted free agents. We just put 17 guys in the league off that team. That's I mean, we were one short of the record from Georgia that Ben just brought up. They had 15 guys get drafted. So
Yes.
yeah, maybe we'll hand it to them there. But yeah, I would say this past year's team, you got to say they're maybe the top 3 of most talented national championship teams in the last 10 years for sure.
Yeah, I'd put them up there.
Absurdly
I mean, if you want to go back far enough, when you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, the LSU team
that's
was
kind
really
of absurd. Where somehow you make Clyde Edwards-Helaire look good enough to where he gets drafted in the first round. You're doing something right.
For sure.
So, that was also an extremely talented team.
Did we even mention
McGahee
from the Miami team?
Dude, that backfield was absurd.
Jared Payton.
I think they even had Clinton Portis at that time. They had an absurd 4 or 5 running backs.
Right. Yeah. Who's the receivers? Did we mention the receivers? They had
Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
And they have somebody else that was
You mentioned absurd. Winslow Jr.
Kellen Winslow. But they also had everything. Their offensive line, their defensive line. Vince Wilfork was part of that team.
I mentioned him. Yep, Wilfork. Yeah. Big man in the middle. But we willed our way to victory that day, baby. Trestle ball. You're damn right. So many huge plays. That game is so fun to watch back, man.
Jim Tressel, the most conservative man you've ever met. The punt is his favorite play.
But man,
influential play.
But he absolutely knew what to call. He was conservative all the time, but man, he knew how to get it done on some of those plays. The Michael Jenkins 4th down catch.
The Holy Buckeye. He ran the wrong route.
Yeah. I know. We still talk about that. If that was literally, he ran the wrong route. I don't know what the hell happened. If that's
ran the wrong route. Krenzel saw him. All right, get rid of it. There's another wild Buckeye quarterback, Craig Krenzel.
Oh yeah, man. He had the stuff, man. Yeah. I think he should have got more of a shot in the league. I think he had a winning record as a quarterback in the NFL. I think he was 3-1.
Surprised me. Smart guy, big arm.
Got a few wins with the Bears, and then he never really got another chance. Somebody unseated. I think he was 3-1. I'm serious. I don't know. Somebody have to check me out on that. Maybe Eric will, but Krenzel, man, he should have got another look from somebody in the league, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, it was great times, old Jim Tressel. I mean, great time. Look at our lifetime. We've had John Cooper. It was very good outside of 1 week in November. Jim Tressel, John Cooper, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day. I mean, our lifetime has been okay. There are a lot of other college football fans. There are a lot of jealous college football fans that want to talk crap about Ohio State who have never had a single coach like any of those guys.
No. Yeah, Coop was awesome too. People talk a lot of crap about Coop, but I love Coop. Yeah, obviously he was 2-9 against that team up north, but he was a good dude. He's still on the radio occasionally and stuff too. If you ever hear him, he's still kicking. Still got good takes. He's a funny guy. Yeah.
Good for him.
Still well liked by the Buckeye community. I mean, he just kind of, I don't know, didn't always have his best stuff. Those Michigan teams then were good too, though. They had some good squads going in the 90s. Not that they didn't, when Tressel got in there.
But, I don't remember it.
I remember that one year with Woodson. My goodness. Of course, he's from Ohio. They always get all their best players are always from here. That was a tough time. Tough little decade there. Blacked out, did you?
I don't think it ever happened. Just like Le'Veon Bell going to Michigan State, that was frustrating as hell. Yeah, it's at least going back to it. I mean, hopefully Jameer Perez, kid committed to Florida, but he was back at Ohio State camp this week. Hopefully he does end up committing to Ohio State. But yeah, man, it does suck when they lose an Ohio kid to a different program, and then they happen to play that team, and that guy just absolutely smokes Ohio State. That's hurtful.
Absolutely.
It's hurtful.
Eric, I love it, buddy. I know. 16-1, man. Tressel and Urban. I mean, what an era. Urban undefeated. Tressel loses 1.
Yeah.
Just unreal. Tress was 9-1. Urban 7-0.
Yeah. 17-7 since 2000. And they didn't even want to play us during the COVID year.
Yeah. So, just completely chickened out.
Yeah, 17-7, and they decided not to play 1 year. And I don't understand what the argument is to be made for that team. I guess go ahead and hang your hat on a couple years, and you just forget that you completely quit. You bailed out. You said, no, we can't handle it. We're not even going to enter the ring. We're just going to stay backstage. Okay. I couldn't imagine rooting for a team like that didn't even want to try. That's the softest thing I've ever heard of. I know we're just going to quit. We're not even going to show up to the field. We're just not even
quit.
We're not. We're not. We're done. We admit defeat before we even leave the state. We're not even getting in a bus to head down there. We're just going to quit because that's exactly the opinion that we have of ourselves, is that we are just complete ass. And we don't even want to show up.
Then we're going to start cheating. Then we're gonna create a way to bend the rules here and create a way to find a way to win some games. Their record just completely turns around when they started all that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they just needed to completely quit for a year to figure out a cheating strategy. Maybe that's what they were doing.
Basically was it, yeah. And Harbaugh every year. I thought it was so funny.
How pissed would you be if it's not just a huge rivalry for our teams, it's the biggest rivalry in all of sports.
Yep.
And your team decided to not play. As a Buckeye fan, how would you have felt? I still wouldn't be able to even accept that as a fan.
I couldn't either. I don't know how. I was just disgusted. I could not even believe that whole COVID year was weird, but I mean, come on. They didn't have that many positive tests. It was horrible.
There would be no way I could ever talk any kind of trash as a fan of my team if we didn't even show up to compete.
Right. It's pretty tough. They've gotten some wins on us, but even those are tainted as well. Maybe not the last couple. I'll give it to them. They've had a couple wins, but like I said, I mean, we can't win them all. I guess it felt like we could for a while, but yeah. This year in the big house, I am also very much looking forward to that game.
Absolutely,
as we all are. Go up there and get some justice, put a beating on them. And just how Harbaugh every year in the offseason flirted with going to the NFL. What is it, Boone? Every year at the end of the season, Harbaugh would be like, "Well, I'm talking to some teams. I'm talking to some NFL teams. See what's out there." It's like, have we ever had to put up with something like that for the book? I wouldn't even do it. I'd be like, "What? Like,
get out of here.
You're doing what?" And they just love him. They just love him, and just I don't know. Harbaugh, man, he's something else. But
of course, man, they don't have much else to love. That's why I have to hang their hat on this. A lot of hateful things to say to that university. What's up, Boone?
He's barking chicken dogs outside. They got another fox.
Oh.
Well,
good for them.
Let's wrap it up with some mystery Buckeye. You got a guess on this? Did you hear the clues?
Give me a rundown here.
All right. Still see a lot of you hanging there in the chat. Let's see if you guys can guess the mystery Buckeye tonight. Buckeye legend, as a senior, he won the Thorpe Award, Jim Thorpe Award. I'll go ahead and let you know. Ben knows, but it goes to the best player in the secondary, best defensive back in the country. So he won the Thorpe Award as a senior. He was drafted by the Saints. Hold on.
Oh, Malcolm Jenkins.
Hold your guesses. Hold your horses. Hold everything. I'll hold on to Urban. All right. Drafted by the Saints. Also played for the Eagles. And he grew up in New Jersey. Those are your clues. Grew up in Jersey. Drafted by the Saints. Played for the Eagles as well. Thorpe Award. The answer is
Malcolm
Benny's second
Jenkins.
guess was correct. Malcolm Jenkins. One of my favorite Buckeyes ever. Also wearer of the number 2. One of the most historic numbers in Buckeye history.
Dude, great safety.
Amazing. Just so solid. So damn solid. He was a legend in the league too. Did he win the Super Bowl with the Eagles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then went back to the Saints, I believe, right? For a couple years, which was kind of cool. Were you thinking, did he win a ring with the Eagles? I think he did.
Oh,
when Nick Foles was their quarterback?
He won the year when the Saints won with Drew Brees.
Ooh, did he win multiple Super Bowls then? I'm not sure.
I don't think he was still around with Philly and Nick Foles with the Eagles.
I thought he was on that team.
If he was, then I think he's got 2, because I thought he was in the league when Drew Brees won one. Ooh, man, that's a good question. Does Malcolm Jenkins have 1 or 2 Super Bowl rings?
I'll write it down here. I'll tell you guys next week or in 2 weeks when we come back on.
There it is.
1 or 2 or none. I think he's at least got 1 for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
think he
hope
was on
so.
that Eagles team. I really do. I think he was on that Eagles team, and then I think he left like the next year back to the Saints. I don't know.
Yeah, when you said Thorpe Award, I jumped the gun a little bit. Went Jack Tatum. 'Cause I feel Jack Tatum never gets enough love. Hey, if you talk
Never
about one of the
does.
hardest hitting DBs of all time, people were scared of that man.
Oh, he ended a man's career, almost life, I believe. Actually, he
Clothesline
paralyzed
people.
it. He paralyzed the guy. Yeah,
What's up,
pretty
JC?
rough.
Oh, Eric, JC, got a lot of guys in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Jenkins has
Yeah.
2.
Nice, Eric. Love it.
So
Has 2. One
knows
with
it.
the Saints and with the Eagles.
Yep, 2010 and 2018. Good for him. So he did win one with
Heck
Drew.
yeah. NFL legend, man. Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, one of my favorite Bucks ever. I
Oh
just
yeah.
remember when I was going to school down there, he went to Ohio State and he had some tattoos, but he had a brand as well. And I think it was
Oh
his
yes.
fraternity, maybe.
Yes.
It was kind of like a horseshoe type and just a brand, like they
Yeah.
do to cattle.
Oh yeah.
Like
Dude,
the
that's become a
raised
big thing where
scarring.
you just yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that's pretty tough. Like, that's pretty insane. No, I'm too chicken to do all that.
Yeah. All right, here a
Maybe I'll
couple
get a
more guys in
brand.
here. Eric, definitely appreciate that. Out toward Gavin got his Ohio State PJs on. Now we're talking. Oh
Hell
boy,
yeah.
Boomer Sooner can get it on week 1 with the horns down.
Uh-oh. New member of the SEC there, Boomer
Yep.
Sooner. They got to
Ranking.
have a better year this year. Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I would
We'll
think
see.
so. Yeah, man, a lot of good Ohio State. Dude, maybe Malcolm Jenkins. I guess Mike Doss would have been before that, but some of those guys started that secondary that just has led on to legends and legends. It's been going for 2+ decades. If you want to go back to Jack Tatum, and then Anton Winfield, Sean Springs in the '90s, Ohio State has never suffered for great DBs. Just always had monster DBs.
Absolutely. We
Oh, I
are
see we got some.
BIA.
I didn't know Mike Conley played for OSU. Yeah, like 20
Yeah.
years ago when Greg Oden was on the team.
Yeah. Him and
It's a weird
Greg
thing.
Oden were both Him and Greg Oden were both top 5. I think Oden was number 1 and Conley
Yeah.
was like number
Oden went number 1
2 or
over Kevin
3.
Durant. Oden, I think
Yeah.
he may not have it anymore, but he did have the record for most free throws made in the NCAA tournament in one game, and he shot them left-handed because his right wrist was broke.
Yeah.
That's how
Legend.
absurd that man was.
Gosh, man.
He
It
could not stay
sucks.
healthy.
Yep, sucks he never could stay healthy
I
because
know,
he
man.
did even look good in the league when he was healthy early on with the
Absolutely.
Blazers. He looked
Yeah,
awesome.
guy could ball, man.
Yep. Yeah, Eric Mike Doss, man. I think he was a mystery Buckeye just a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Another amazing number 2
another one.
member of our secondary.
Yeah, yeah. You can roll through and every 5 years, guess an All-American, future All-Pro out of Ohio State.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been absurd. It has been absurd, and they're still keeping it. There's no way Caleb Downs falls out of the top 10 in the draft next year.
No
He's
way. He's
probably
too damn
number 1
good.
player
Too
in the
solid.
draft.
Mm-hmm.
Who is
Eric,
Ohio
Mike
State's
Doss, just
toughest
that you mentioned
opponent?
the consensus, though, he was first team All American 3 times. Mike Doss was 3-time first teamer, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Pretty incredible. And yeah, now we have
Wow,
Downs leading the way, number 2 back there. Pretty
wow,
insane.
that's absurd.
And yes, Bitcoin, our toughest opponent on the schedule is definitely Texas.
Yeah,
Some people may say Penn State, but let's be real, it's Texas. I'm not a
yeah,
Penn State.
it's Texas.
I'm not on the Penn State wagon. I just can't get
No,
behind Aller.
I'm okay with Penn State as a team wagon, but I'm not on the Drew Aller wagon. I think that is one of the
Not at
most
all.
overhyped and overrated players in college. This is like another
Yep,
Christian Hackenberg situation. How many times are we going to do this? Guy
I
plays
know.
like butt.
Preach, preach. I am so on your side here, Ben. Drew
Awful,
Aller
man. He's got bad
looked
footwork.
horrible in
He's
the
got a
playoffs.
bad arm. He's got a goofy release. I no want nothing to do with that guy. Nothing to do with that guy.
Yeah, they have a good backfield. Singleton's coming back, and they've got another guy who's breaking out in the backfield. I can't remember their other running back, but yeah, I mean
Nick
Penn State,
Singleton and
they'll be good. But
Kavion something,
there you
KHAY
go.
something. I can't remember, but yeah, they bring those two guys back. They've got a good offensive line again. I know they lost Kobe King out of their linebacking core, who was a stud. Obviously, Abdul Carter was a stud. But I mean, Penn State is kind of like Ohio State. A lot of these other good Big Ten teams, where on defense they reload. They don't ever rebuild. They just reload. They have another athletic stud. But the thing that Penn State has always missed out on is a good quarterback. And I still do not believe Drew Aller is that guy. Don't believe it.
No.
I mean, they've had good offensive weapons, obviously. I mean, they had Chris Godwin. Saquon Barkley went to Penn State, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tyler Warren, obviously, last year. Trying to think of some of the other studs that they've had. But they've always had good offensive pieces. But defense is always good, but quarterback has always held them back. And I do not think Drew Aller is going to be the one to push them over the edge. They're going to make the playoffs.
They have, and you nailed it, Ben. They have not been able to find a quarterback that's that big of a difference maker. And they always have a guy that they kind of hype up. Who was the shorter guy that started for them for like 3 years? A few years back. I don't know. He was a decent college quarterback, but he just, I don't know. Like you said, Hackenberg. I can't remember the guy I'm trying to think of. He was a little shorter guy. Played for him. I think he started 3 years, but they just haven't been able to find the right QB to lead them to the promised land. Ohio State, we've rolled out just stud after stud.
I think Eric nailed it. McSorley, Trace McSorley.
Yes, Eric
nailed
Eric is my new favorite guy in the chat. Killing
Eric's
it all
on
night,
top
Eric.
of it. Yep, nailed it.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, they have guys that they put in, just like McSorley, like Hackenberg, that start for 2-3 years and then can't hang on for 2 years in the NFL. Like they're bad. They don't ever get a good quarterback, and I think Drew Aller is the same thing. I don't know why everybody is falling for this again.
I don't get it,
it's
Ben.
a magic trick. Hey, let me distract you with all these offensive weapons and a defense. Don't look over here at the quarterback room.
Yeah. Hey, JC, Carnell Tate is playing, buddy. He is our number 2 locked in this year.
Absolutely.
You got Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate is going to crush it this year. Then you got Brandon Ennis, probably going to be the 3. Mylan Graham, though, it's everybody's favorite. I mean, just because he balled out so hard in the spring game. Mylan Graham's going to challenge Ennis a little for that third
Graham was
receiver.
a 5-star coming in, man. The only reason, I mean,
freak show.
When you have a Jeremiah
Ennis
Smith,
was a high 4-star as well, though.
Yeah, dude. When you have a Jeremiah Smith that comes in the same class as you, unfortunately, people are going to forget you're there, which is a shame because Mylan Graham is that good. Mylan Graham is a dude. Quincy Porter is a dude. Ohio State has dogs everywhere in that wide receiver room. I cannot wait to watch it. That's why I really hope whichever quarterback they decide to choose, just read, throw, get off the field. That's all you need to do. Put the ball in, throw it to an athlete. That's all we need.
That's all you got to do. Just throw it up. Throw it up to 4.
Yes, just run the offense well. If you're a great quarterback, that's fantastic. We just need you to be above average. Even if you're average, that's okay. I think both the guys they have, all 3 actually, are well above average.
Yeah. Hey, how about the new 5-star? Is it Jameer Brown? Number 1 receiver from 27.
Out of Huber Heights. Yeah, down in Dayton. Is it Dayton, Huber Heights, Dayton, or Cincinnati? I think he Huber Heights might be Cincinnati. Huber Heights actually, it might still be. Huber Heights was like the largest brick community in the United States. Nothing but brick houses.
This Jameer Brown
random
kid,
fact, so there you go.
I think he just won the states in the 100 meters.
Yeah, Jameer Brown can fly, dude.
He's an absolute burner. So, yeah, and Chris Henry Jr., Eric's all over it. But, yeah, we just got the 5 stars. They just continue to pour in. Yep, and Henry Jr.'s buddy, too.
KDW as well. I mean, dude, they just
Dixon Wyatt.
Stud after stud. Brian Hartline, man. Give that guy whatever he wants. Whatever he wants.
Yep. And, it doesn't look like the switch to OC has slowed down the recruiting whatsoever. I just hope that he he seems like a great mind. So, we'll see how it goes this year. Hopefully his offensive philosophies are just as amazing as he was as a wide receiver coach, and excited to see how we spread it around, man. Like we talked about earlier, get those tight ends involved, get some backs catching the ball out of the backfield too.
Yeah, there's talent everywhere. I think Tyler Bowen is going to be a great, great addition. He already is. It just seems like every offensive lineman that comes in has a visit with Ohio State. Absolutely loves this dude. He's just, he seems awesome, man. I'm very excited that they got him.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Penn State, for that.
Thank you. Yep. Good stuff, man. What's up, Jeff? I think we're about to maybe wrap it up here, guys. Man, the chat's been cracking, though. Thanks for joining us. Somebody said something about calling us delusional. Yeah, if you watch the show, you'll realize I'm a little bit more of the delusional Buckeye fan. Ben over here is a little bit more of a realist. So, whichever side you fall on, you got a home here.
I must have missed it. A little delusional in there.
Oh yeah, somebody in there. But yeah, I mean, we're Buckeye fans, man. I mean, we're I mean, I can't help. We grew up here in Columbus. If you watch the show, a lot of new guys in there, but we're Columbus guys. We grew up just north of Columbus here. We can't help it. I mean, we bleed scarlet and gray, and this is all we know.
Yeah,
Been
fans their whole life. I mean, through thick and thin, there have been so many years where Ohio State's been ranked #1, or we should have had a chance at the title back when it was, the BCS program, or back when it was just voted on in the early '90s and crap, and then through the 4-team playoff, now the 12-team playoff, and it has been awesome to watch. First year of the 4-team playoff, first year of the 12-team playoff, Ohio State just dominates and wins the title. When we were back in high school watching Ohio State win that title game that we talked about versus Miami, I mean, it has been an awesome thing to be part of Columbus and part of the Ohio State community and have just this awesome, awesome fanhood to be able to win. Which is why, during the COVID year, we were ready to show up, whereas other teams decided to quit. So, I can't imagine rooting for a team like that just decided to quit before the season was over. That's why we'll always rock these scarlet and gray.
Yep, through thick and thin, man. Like we talked about earlier, we hate to talk about it, but we did live through the '90s there when we were kind of on the other side of the rivalry. But we've been through it all, man, and we never give up on our team. Go back and watch some of the shorts I put up from like before the Tennessee game when people were even talking about how a lot of Buckeye fans wanted Dave fired and all this crap. We didn't. Watch our show, and no one was that crazy. I talked to one, maybe two absolutely delusional fans before that Tennessee game that actually said they wanted Day out of there. And I can't even speak for them as being real fans. They weren't, Every other Buckeye fan here in Columbus was sticking with our guy. Day's the best coach in America, best winning percentage of any coach. No, we're some real fans here in Columbus. People like to say that we are crazy. We were calling for our coach's head and all that crap. That's just the idiots on the internet, man. Those aren't real Ohio State fans. Like we stick with our Buckeyes through anything. We've got the best fans in the whole damn land. I always like to say.
Yeah, Kirk Herbstreit loves clicks, man. Calling us lunatic fringe. That's why Kirk moved to Tennessee. He didn't know what being a real fan was like, so he up and left. So whatever. Call us what you want. We're real fans. I mean, that's fan is short for fanatic. We love Ohio State.
And we do criticize. I mean, we're fans. You're allowed to criticize your team, but we don't give up on guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ask me any question about Larry Johnson. I'll be honest with you.
Refer to 2 weeks ago's episode again.
Yep, go back and watch him.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Saban retiring. Yeah, he is the best coach now, Boomer. Yeah, great stuff, chat. Good to meet all you guys tonight.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Yep. Check us out. If we're not on next Tuesday, we'll definitely be on in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, if you don't see us next week, you'll see us in 2 weeks.
Damn right. Good stuff, Benny. Great talking with you tonight. We went a little long tonight, but hey, why not, man? Hanging out with all these great fans. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been cool. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Come see us again. More discussions. We can all trash on, Michigan together. It would be great.
Be a real good time, huh, Urban?
Be a great time.
Benny, Great show. Shout out to all the sponsors once again for the show. You got Buckeye Wine and Spirits, Playa Bowls, Plaza Mexican Grill, Mikey's Late Night Slice, and our newest sponsor, Buckeye Donuts. I still got that Go Nuts for Donuts thing coming here on Instagram soon. Been a little slow posting lately, but yeah, we got some heaters cooking. So thanks for supporting the show, guys. Go Bucks. See you in 2 weeks.
All right, everybody. O-H, baby. See you, Buckeyes.
I-O, Benny. See you guys.